Thank you all for joining today's Sundarakandam session, day 5, presented by Shivkumar sir. Sir, I will now turn this over to you.
Thank you, Sriram, and welcome one and all to this beautiful journey of Anjaneya. Today, the fifth day of Sundarakanta. We had a beautiful Hanuman Chalisa playing before we started, which was a beautiful, serene, and divine thing to be done on this beautiful day of Lanka Dahana. The chapter of Lanka Dahana in burning of the city of Lanka by Anjaneya and destroying all the evil demons, the so-called representation of negativity, the so-called inimical forces in each one of us, which is being removed by Anjaneya as a symbolic representation. He has shown us through Ramayana the deed of burning of the demons which are within ourselves, the negativities within ourselves, in the form, the symbolic form of burning the city of Lanka where the demons were residing, the houses of the demons, and Lanka Dahana portion of Sundarakanda. Here, there is something which is very important, which is shown by Anjaneya. If we observe the part of Lanka Dahana, which we go through the English translation or any language translation of the Lanka Dahana portion of Anjaneya, when we go through like a story, when we read through, even in Amar Chitra Kratas, you can really find out something very, very deep in meaning, and which is very interesting in a day-to-day life. You can see whether it's in a corporate life or in a day-to-day present life, you can see a lot of intricate points which Anjaneya has depicted, which he has brought out to our attention to imbibe, to assimilate, and to implement in our day-to-day life, which we are, most of us, doing it in a subconscious, unconscious way, involuntarily. But he wants us to make it voluntary and be more conscious to the deeds. How? There is a lot of quick planning and decision making which has been shown in the Lanka Dahana portion. When we go through the slokas and explain, it will be more easier to understand this. Quick planning and decision making, but in a very discretional way, very discreet and conscious discreet way, selective way, in a systematic precision, with full focused energies, exalted energies, but the energies, though it is exalted and in an excited way, is not going disrupted and unfocused. It goes focused and in a discretional and selective way, purely in a conscious way, with equilibrated energies. The exalted, excited energies are equilibrated and fine-tuned to such a point where selectiveness is very clearly seen in the Lanka Dahana portion of Anjaneya, so that we do the Dahana of all our inimical forces and the negative and depressive and despondent thoughts which come through day in and out in each one of us, whether it is in the corporate or in a day-to-day life. So that is Anjaneya's depiction of Lanka Dahana portion, which beautifully Sage, the great none other than Sage Valmiki, has brought us and brought to this world to enrich ourselves with all this beautiful, intricate points, and to imbibe and implement it in our day-to-day life. Namaskara once again to everyone, and we begin the session with a beautiful sloka of Anjaneya, because we are going to the Lanka Dahana portion, which is a heroic deeds of Anjaneya. So we invoke him here again after Hanuman Chalisa. Anjana Nandanam Veeram Janaki Shokanashanam Kapishamakshahantaram Vande Lanka Bhayankaram. Anjana Nandanam Veeram Janaki Shokanashanam Kapishamakshahantaram Vande Lanka Bhayankaram. Rama 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 Rama. Here we begin the first sloka from the 54th Sarga, the sloka number 3, from the 54th Sarga of Sundarakanta. Vanam tavat pramatitam prakrishta rakshasa hataha bala ekadeshaha kshipitaha sesham durga vinashanam. Vanam tavat pramatitam prakrishta rakshasa hataha bhala ekadeshah kshipitah sesham durga vinashanam vanam tavat pramatitam. I have demolished, destroyed the garden, the entire garden in Lanka. I have killed excellent demons. Balaha eka kshipitam, Rakshasa, Prakashta, Rakshasa hataha, all the Rakshasas being killed, and I destroyed a portion of the army. Bala eka deshaha kshipitaha, Shesham Durga Vinashanam. What else is remaining to be destroyed? Demolition of the fort is still remaining. So this is the Lanka Dahana portion starting, where Hanuman is taking a quick planning and decision making after implementing and executing in a discretional way the start of the destruction of Lanka. Vanam tavat pramatitham prakrishta rakshasa hataha bhala ekadeshah kshipitaha sesham durga vinashanam. Rama Rama Rama. Here we have the beautiful temple of Panchamukhi, Panchamukhi village, which is in the southern bank of the river Tungabhadra in Karnataka, in the Raichur district, and near Manchala. Manchala, the main town which we have heard in the Raghavendra Swami's history, the beautiful history of Raghavendra Swami and his journey through life, where Manchala was the place, the present Mantralaya as it is known, where Raghavendra Swami had his meditation and his the Jiva Samadhi in Manchala area, Mantralaya as it is known today. And this Panchamukhi village in Mantralaya is is in the Raichur district, in the southern bank of the river Tungabhadra, and where Raghavendra Swami is supposed to have done his penance continuously in the cave temple, which we are able to see today. Also, people go and visit and get the blessings of the beautiful Hanuman and Raghavendra Swami together, and which is nearer to the Navavrindavanas also. And where this cave temple, around 50 steps when you go inside, you can see the Swayambhu Anjaneya in a huge rock in the Panchamukhi form, which was Swayambhu, which was the one which came out as darshan to Raghavendra Swami for his penance after the 12 years. The Dvaita philosopher was the greatest of the Madhva Parampara. And the Panchamukhi Anjaneya, the Panchamukhas. What are the Panchamukhas? Varaha, Garuda, Hanuman, Narasimha, and Hayagriva, all the Panchamukhas. Varaha towards the northern direction, facing the northern direction, Garuda towards the western direction, Hanuman towards the eastern direction, and Narasimha towards the southern direction, and Hayagriva seeing the sky above. So the Panchamukhi Anjaneya, as I had mentioned in the first day and the second days of Sundarakanda, where the avatara actually happened in Ahiravana's Vadha, the story of Ahiravana's Vadha, the legend as it goes, where the Panchamukhi Avatara happened initially in Rameshwaram district, where during the Yuddha Kanta, before the Yuddha Kanta started, before the Yuddha started, Ahiravana took away Rama and Lakshmana inside Patala. So the Panchamukhi Avatara was invoked, and he came into being for the destruction of Ahiravana, all the inimical forces. Varaha, Garuda, Hanuman, Narasimha, and Hayagriva, the Panchamukhas of Anjaneya, Panchamukhi Anjaneya. Here you can see him in this temple in the Panchamukhi form, sitting on his knees, facing east with folded hands. The Swayam Vyakta Panchamukha Anjaneya, that is Dvayambhu Anjaneya. Beautifully here, it is a spot where you can see also the rock formation, which is having, they are supposed to have told that it is in the shape of the bed and a pillow and a Vimana, the aeroplane, in the rock form, which Anjaneya used to sleep, it seems. That is what is mentioned when you go to Mantralaya. And it's a beautiful sight to get the blessings of both Raghavendra Swami and the Panchamukhi Anjaneya of this temple. So again, we have the sloka here. Vanam tavat pramatitam prakrishta rakshasa hataha bala ekadeshah kshipitaha sesham durga vinashanam. Rama 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 Rama. We go to the next sloka, that is the fifth sloka from the Sarga 54 again of Sundarakanta. Yohi ayam mama langule Dipyate Havyavahanaha Asya Santarpanam Nyayam Kartum Ebihi Griha Uttamaihi Yohi Ayam Mama Langule Dipyate Havyavahanaha Asya Santarpanam Nyayam Kartum Ebihi Griha Uttamaihi. Nyayam, justified. Nyayam is justification. It is justified to satisfy this blazing flame on my tail, blazing flame on my tail. Deeptam, Deepyate Havyavahanaha. Havyavahanaha is the Lord Fire. It is justified. And Langule, Langule is the tail. Langulam is tail in Sanskrit. Yohi Ayam Mama, in my tail, the flame, the fire in my tail, Asya Santarpanam, by feeding it, by submitting it to feeding it to these excellent houses in Lanka, it is justified. That is what Anjaneya is telling himself, telling his Atma, telling himself and satisfying himself, saying that this is justified doing. Whatever I have done is justified. So it is a justification process for the quick decisions and quick planning done and execution of it. And he feels that he has done the right thing. So it is a right discretional way of analysis. Yohi ayam mama langule dipyate havyavahanaha asya santarpanam nyayam kartum ebihi Griha Uttamaihi. Griha, the different houses, Uttamaihi, the beautiful, excellent grihas, which I burned off, which is submitted to the flames of my tail, is justified. That is what Anjaneya is saying. Yohi, I am what I did. Rama, Rama, Rama. We have the beautiful temple associated with this sloka. Here you can see a beautiful Anjaneya, which is little rare in the forms, which is displayed here. This is how the temple has the idol, the Utsavamurti and the Mulavar, which is beautiful with Trinetra Dashabhuja Anjaneya, as it is known. Trinetra, the three eyes, the third eye of Rudra, given by Lord Shiva, and Dashabhuja, the 10 hands holding all the different ayudas. Ambal gave the Trishulam, Vishnu gave the Shankha Chakra, Dharma gave the Kamandalu and the Akshamala. Then you have Mahalakshmi giving the Matagaja, the another weapon required for Yuddha. And Garuda gave 2 feathers from his wings to give the Vegam, that is the speed of achievement. And Navanitam by Lord Krishna, the butter, and the Chatai, the whip from Krishna. All these 10 Ayudhas, Brahma Kamandalam also, and Kapalam holding in his hand. And all these 10 weapons in the 10 hands and taking the Vishwarupa along with the third eye of Rudra and destroying the Rakta Bhindu and Rakta Rakkadhan. Rakta Bhindu and Rakka Rakkadhan. These were the 2 asuras who were left out after Ravana Nigraha in Ramayana. After Ravana Nigraha, when Rama and Sita and Lakshmana boarded where they were staying in Bharadwaj Ashrama for a while before boarding the Pushpaka Vimana to go back to Ayodhya. That is when Lord Narada, the sage Narada, came to Rama and told him that these 2 asuras who were the asuras during Ravana's period, after his killing, they have gone under the ocean to do very severe penance to achieve powers to destroy the entire world, and they are waiting to do that and avenge and take revenge on Rama for killing their leader Ravana. And so hey Rama, please finish off these asuras, don't leave them back, and again create the destruction of the world which these people can do. This is what Narada advised Lord Rama. But Rama, since he had to go there immediately because Bharata was waiting with the Agni Pravesham if Rama doesn't come on time. So Rama said that he cannot go, neither Lakshmana can go, and he instructed the great Hanuman, the heroic Hanuman, who crossed all the oceans, mighty oceans, to go and finish off these asuras and save the world. And Hanuman took this Vishwarupa form, and accordingly all the so-called deities gave him all these weapons to handle these asuras, and finishing off these asuras by chanting the name of Rama. Again, his being a devout messenger to Rama, he took this Vishwarupa and destroyed these asuras, took them out of the ocean and destroyed these asuras, and protected the world and brought everlasting peace and welfare. And that is the spot where the temple is right now today, to today's world. And it is in the Chidambaram Karaikal route of Tamil Nadu in the East Coast Road. And it is known as the Trinetra Dashabhuja Anjaneya, a rare form of Anjaneya, but associated with the legend of Ramayana, which is the intricate point here, which was mentioned, even the Asuras' names, which is there in Ramayana. And that is why, being a place where everlasting peace and happiness was brought about after the destruction of these remaining Asuras, the world became peaceful and happy. And that is why this place is known as Ananta Mangalam. Ananta is always, Ananta is everlasting, and Mangalam, Mangalam is the Mangalam is the Shubham. Mangalam is Shubham, that is the peace and happiness, everlasting peace and welfare of the entire world. Ananta Mangalam, Anjaneyer temple, Ashta Trinetra Dashabhuja Ashta Anjaneyer in Ananta Mangalam in Chidambaram Karaikal route in the East Coast Road of Tamil Nadu. We have this beautiful temple. Again, I repeat this sloka. Here we have Hanuman having the deer as the Vahanam, Mriga Vahana Anjaneya. And we have the sloka again here. Yo hi ayam mama langule dipyate havyavahana asya santarpanam nyayam kartum mebihi griha uttamaihi. Rama 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 Rama. We go to the next sloka following this from the same sarga, that is the 7th sloka from the sarga 54. Tadaha pradipta langulaha savidyud iva toyadaha bhavana agreshu lankaya vichachara mahakapihi. Tataha pradipta langulaha. Langulaha, again the tail. Pradipta, the burning tail. Pradipta, the bright tail. Tataha, then Hanuman with his Tataha, then Hanuman, Pradipta Langulaha, with the burning, that is the bright tail, Savidyut Iva Toyadaha. Toyam is water. Savidyut is Toyadaha, any liquid for that matter, strolled over the housetops of Lanka, the Bhavana Agreshu Lankayaha, the tops, Agreshu, all the tops of the houses of Lanka, Bhavana Agreshu Lankayaha, he flew through them like a cloud charged with lightning, like a cloud charged with lightning, the Mahakapi, that is Anjaneya, with the burning tail, Langula, Savidyut is the lightning, that is just like the bright sunlight, lightning and sunlight compared to each other. Iva Toyadaha, like the cloud charged with lightning. Toyada is a water-filled cloud. So, Tataha Pradipta Langulaha Savidyud Iva Toyadaha Bhavana Agreshu Lankaya Vichachara Mahakapihi. Here, this sloka has another significance. If you see the hidden word, Savidyud, Savidyud, we have this word, we have heard this, each one of us, and we do this every day, but we are not able to suddenly bring it to the conscious mind, right? The subconscious mind, as I had told, the thought process to be brought to reality, that is the purpose of Sundarakanda, to realize our infinite potentialities inside us. So now here I bring in this particular word. If every one of us could recollect this, Savidyud, have we heard this word? We are doing it every day, right? This is in the Gayatri. If you see the Savid, it is in the Gayatri mantra, Savidyut, right? So Tataha Pradipta Langulaha, Savit is related to sun, Savidyut Ivato Yadaha Bhavana Agreshu Lankaya Vichachara Mahakapihi. Rama Rama Rama. We have the beautiful temple associated to this sloka again, the Swayambhu Patali Hanuman Mandir. Patali Hanuman Mandir. As you can see the word Patali, Patalam. Patalam is the underground. So it is a Swayambhu, self-manifested idol again of Anjaneya from the Patala. It is a 200-year-old temple near Mahalakshmi Road in South Mumbai, Maharashtra. The South Mumbai, Bombay, Maharashtra. We have this Swayambhu Patali Hanuman Mandir, which is self-manifested from the Patala, which is very powerful for Tuesdays where special prayers are being done with lakhs of people visiting it every Tuesday in Mumbai, near to the famous Mahalakshmi temple. Let us have the blessings of Sri Swayambhu Patali Hanuman Mandir from the southern Mumbai side and remove all the Patala negative effects of us and bring in all the higher levels of ascension of good qualities in us. So let us visit the Sri Swayambhu Patali Hanuman Mandir now through our telepathic waves, and also later in life, getting an opportunity, go there and visit physically also and get the blessings. So again, I have this sloka here for this beautiful temple. Tadaha pradipta langulaha savidyut ivato yadaha bhavana agreshu lankaya vichachara mahakapihi. Rama 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 Rama. We have the following sloka from the same Sarga 54, the 7th sloka again here, further indicating the Lanka Dahana chapter. Grihad Griham Grihad Ugram Grihad Ugram Rakshasanam Udyanani cha Vanaraha Vikshamano Hyasamtrastaha Prasadam Chacharasaha. Grihad Ugram, when you split it, it is Grihad Ugram Rakshasanam Udyanani cha Vanaraha. Grihat Ugram, the bigger the mansions, it's not houses, it's the palaces which this Rakshasas had. The beautiful Lanka Nagari that way was so beautiful, as we had seen the first day when Anjaneya visited Lanka. Grihat Ugram, the great palatial mansions, the house, it was not houses, it was palaces, the mansions. So it was Ugram, that is big, very strong and big. Grihat Ugram Rakshasanam, the mansions of the Rakshasas. Udyanani, Udyanani is the beautiful gardens which they had. Chavanaraha, Vikshamanam Vanaraha, Grihat Ugram Rakshasanam Udyanani cha. That is Vikshamanam, viewing, surveying. Anjaneya had a view and surveyed and saw the beautiful, the Grihat Ugram, the beautiful and palatial mansions and the beautiful long gardens he surveyed of the Rakshasas before getting into the next act. Hya samtrastaha prasadamscha chacharasaha. So, surveying the gardens and lofty palatial mansions that Hanuman, without fear, prasadamscha chacharasaha, passed from one house to another. Chacharasaha. He was passing through, he was traveling through, each from one house to the other for the next planning of Lanka Dahana. Grihat Ugram Rakshasanam Udyanani cha Vanaraha Vikshamano Hyasamtastaha Prasadamscha Chacharasaha. Rama 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 Rama. We have the beautiful temple associated with this particular sloka here, the Ganteshwar, Sri Ganteshwar Hanuman Mandir, again in Mumbai, Maharashtra, Karve, near Karve area of Maharashtra, Mumbai, and where this particular temple is supposed to be famous for the hanging bells, which people offer once their wishes are fulfilled. They pray for something, any small wish also. Once it is fulfilled, they come and tie bells here. So it is known as Ghanteshwar. Ghanta in Sanskrit is bell, in Hindi also like it is known as bell in English. So the bells are the holy bells, the sounds of which resonate and bring in the name of Onkara, the Ramanama, which is what is seen here. The Ghanteshwar Hanuman Mandir, which is quite not very old, but then at the same time, which is very famous and which is very powerful with its prayers being done every day regularly, all the 3 times, and lakhs of people visiting it, especially on Saturdays and Tuesdays in North India, which is said to be the days of Hanuman, and get the blessings of him. So let us have the blessings of Sri Ghanteshwar Hanuman Mandir, Karve area of Mumbai in Maharashtra, and which is a gift of bells, as it is known, which is offered here. Ghanteshwar Sri Hanuman Mandir in Mumbai again, Karve, Mumbai, Maharashtra. So let us have this sloka again and ring the bells for our wishes being granted by Hanuman. And Manasikama, by the mind, let us reach out to this temple right now and offer lot of bells, the holy bells, which resonate with the sound of happiness and positivity. So let us have the sloka again. Grahat ugram rakshasanam udyanani cha vanaraha vikshamano hyasantrastaha prasadamscha chacharasaha. Let, like Hanuman, let us also travel in our life from one to the other achievements and succeed and have all the palatial mansions of positivity inside us. Rama, Rama, Rama. Let us go to the next slokas following this. We have the the 8th and the 9th sloka from the same sarga as the next sloka. Avapluptya mahavegah prahastasya niveshanam agnim tatra sa nikshipya shwasanena samobali. Avapluptya mahavegah prahastasya niveshanam agnim tatra sa nikshipya shwasanena samobali. Tato anyat plupluve veshma mahaparshvasya vidyavan. Tato anyat plupluve veshma mahaparshvasya vidyavan. Mumocha Hanuman agnim kala anala shikha upamam. Avapluptya mahavegah prahastasya niveshanam agnim tatra sa nikshipya shwasanena samobali. Tato anyat plupluve veshma mahaparshvasya viryavan. Mumocha Hanuman agnim kala anala shikha upamam. Jumping down on Prahasta's house, Prahastasya niveshanam. Jumping on Prahasta's house, Avapluptya Mahavega, with great speed, the valiant Hanuman with great swiftness. Agnim tatrasa nikshipya, Agnim, and depositing and placing the fire, nikshipya, in Prahasta's house, Shwasanena samobali, and scattering fire on it, jumped over from there to another house belonging to Mahapashwa. Tato anyat plupluve veshma Mahapashwasya vidyavan. Mahapashwa, he placed the fire in Mahapashwa's house next. Hanuman, with great swiftness, having strength equal to wind. Anala shikha upamam, equal to wind. Anala is wind. Shikha upamam, equal to the wind, the great swiftness of wind, the speed of wind, scattering fire on it, jumped over from there to another house belonging to Mahaparshva, which we saw, Mahaparshvasya Viryavan. Hanuman scattered a fire there resembling a flame of fire that would destroy the world. Avapluptya mahavegah prahastasya niveshanam agnim tatra sa nikshipya shwasanena samobali. Tato anya plupluve veshma mahaparshvasya vidyavan. Mumocha Hanuman agnim kala analashika upamam. So here in this sloka, we saw Hanuman placing the fire first in Prahasta's house and then to Mahaparsha's house, and then going again ahead with other places, which we are going to see in the coming slokas. Before that, we go to the beautiful temple associated with this particular sloka. Here we have the Vijayanagaram Gumchi Hanuman temple, which is a beautiful temple known as the Gumchi Hanuman temple, exactly resembling the OTC Hanuman, the Officers Camp Hanuman at Palayam in Trivandrum, which I described as the Vana Uttama Anjaneya, if you recollect. And where you have the Hanuman in the exact monkey form depiction with the Vanara depiction with all the paws and all like the monkey, hairy, full of fur, which I described the other day when we were talking about OTC Hanuman. The same way here, you have the paws of the monkey exactly in the idol depicted and shown in the idol of Gumchi Hanuman temple in Vijayanagaram. The whole village is built around a lake, and the whole village of Rama Leela, the whole village known as Rama Narayanam, has been built around this temple, where you have all the various incidents of Ramayana being displayed in a beautiful way, just like the Ramoji city of in Hyderabad, the film city, where you have the whole of the so-called Bahubali movie, which in the latest times, and Mahabharata, which has been displayed. Mahabharata has been beautifully displayed in Ramoji city, which I had a chance to visit few years before. The same way, here in Vijayanagaram, we have the Ramanarayanam village, where we have the Gumchi temple, Hanuman temple, and this idol incidentally came out of a well which was there near the lake here in this area. And from when the whole area has been built up, many acres of land, where it has been built up and made as a city of Ramayana, the Vijayanagaram Gumchi Hanuman temple. Let us take a look in this temple and get the blessings of Hanumanji and go back to this sloka where he is setting up the fire to each place. The fire in us to get all our desires fulfilled, the fire in us to remove all the negative. And that is what he's showing by placing the fire in each selective Rakshasa's house and destroying the negativity. Avapluptya Mahavegaha Prahastasya Nimeshanam Agnim Tatra Sanikshipya Shwasanena Samobali Tato Anya Plupluve Veshma Mahaparshvasya Viryavan Mumocha Hanuman Agnim Kala Anala Shikha Upamam. Rama 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 Rama. We go to the next sloka in the same sarga, the 10th sloka in the sarga 54 of Sundarakanda. Vajradamstrasya cha tadha pupluvesa mahakapihi shukasya cha mahatejaha saranasya cha dhimataha. Vajradamstra is the strong tooth. Vajradamstra Syacha Tatha Pupluvesa Mahakapihi. Mahakapihi, the great Anjaneya. Shukasyacha Mahatejaha. Then he leapt. Then he went and placed and left his fire in the tail to Shuka's house, the Rakshasa Shuka. Shukasya cha Mahatejaha Saranasya. Then to Sarana, the intelligent of the Rakshasas. Saranasya cha Dhimataha. So from Prahasta to Mahasparva, then to Shuka and to Sarana, the four major Rakshasas, houses which were lit on fire by Hanuman's tail. Selective discretional abilities of task achievement. That Hanuman of great splendor then leapt to the houses of Vajradamstra, one of the Asuras who had the strongest tooth, which I forgot to say here, and then Shuka and Sarana. So we have Prahasta, then we have Mahaparva, then Vajradamstra, then we have Shuka, and then Sarana. All the five Asuras who were the major Asuras were the leaders of the Asuras there below Ravana. Their houses were lit on fire by Anjaneya, selectively one by one, exactly in order. Vajradamstrasya cha tatha pupluvesa mahakapihi shukasya cha mahatejaha saranasya cha dhimataha. Rama 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 Rama. Here we have the beautiful temple associated with this particular sloka, which is very important, which is the Sankat Mochan Hanuman temple in Varanasi. The Sankat Mochan Hanuman temple in Varanasi is very old, years, thousands of years old. And this particular temple there is very significant, where we have the great sage Goswami Tulasidas, who wrote the Ramacharita-manas in this temple. He had the vision of Hanuman in this temple, and he is the one who consecrated the temple here, the Sankat Mochan Hanuman temple in the holy city of Varanasi, Kashi, and where Goswami Tulasidas, the saint, who is said to be none other than the reincarnation of Valmiki in Kali Yuga, to bring down to the common man in a simpler way the same Ramayana in the form of Ramacharita-manas in the local vernacular language of Awadhi. That is why he is the same person, the same saint who had written the Hanuman Chalisa, which we heard before the start of this session, where you can see a lot of words of Hindi are not in the polished Hindi words which are of today. It is in the local vernacular Awadhi language, Ayodhya language, Awadhi language in UP, where you can see instead of Pida, it is mentioned as Pira, actually Pira. Lakhan, it is not mentioned as Lakshman, Lakhan. The same way, a lot of words like that, which is actually the Awadhi language, the vernacular language for the common local man in UP and the world. That times, in those days when the Awadhi language was very famous. And Tulsidas ji did the Ramacharita-manas, the whole Ramayana of 24,000 slokas of Ramayana, into Ramacharita-manas in a simplified way for the sake of the common man. So he was none other than the reincarnation of Valmiki according to the scriptures. So he's the one who has been, who had consecrated this beautiful temple of Sankat Mochana Anjaneya Hanuman temple in Varanasi. Let us take the blessings of the great Hanumanji in Sankat Mochan Kshetra of Varanasi. As the name goes, let us get the Mochanam from the relief from all the Sankat, all the sorrows, all the depressions, all the despondence, and all the negativities from here to be cleared, from getting the blessings of Sankat Mochan Anjaneya in Varanasi, and also get the blessings of Saint Tulsidas also equally from this place, and try to imbibe Ramacharita-manas when we get a chance to read it. Rama 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 Rama. We have the sloka again here. Vajradamstrasya cha tatha plupluve sa mahakapihi shukasya cha mahatejaha saranasya cha dhimataha. Rama 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 Rama. Then we go to the next set of slokas. Here you can see in the slide, we have at least 12 lines of one sloka. Actually, it is not one sloka, two lines of different slokas, the 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16 slokas from the next, from the same sarga actually, in fact, following the same sarga, 54, the 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th, and 16th sloka, which are very important to describe the next series of incidents and whose houses, the mansions, Anjaneya lit the fire. And that is why I have taken these slokas, which were important for the Lanka Dahana portion, which we are doing today. So here we have the slokas. Tatha chindri jito veshma dadaha hariyuthapaha jambumale sumalescha dadaha bhavanam tat. Here you can see the names Jambumali, which we described yesterday, the killing of Jambumali by Anjaneya, and Sumalescha. This is another Asura, Sumale, all the major Asuras, in whose houses Bhavanam Anjaneya lit the fire. Tatha Chendre Jito Veshma Dadaha Hariyuthapaha. Anjaneya litting the fire in Jambumalehe Sumalescha Dadaha Bhavanam Tataha. Litting the fire, putting on flames Jambumalis and Sumalis Bhavanam, the houses, the mansions. Tatha Chendre Jito Veshma Dadaha Hariyuthapaha Jambumalehe Sumalescha Dadaha Bhavanam Tat. Then we have the next series of people. Rashmi Ketoscha Bhavanam Surya Shatros Tathaivacha. Rashmi Keto, Rashmi Keta is another Asura, his house, and Surya Shatros Tathaivacha, Surya Shatru, the other Asura. And then again, Harshvakarnasya Dhamstrasya Romashasya Rakshasah. Harshvakarna, and Romasha, the both asuras. So list of asuras whose houses were lit by Hanuman. युद्धोन्मत्तस्य ध्वजग्रीवस्य राक्षसः. The next Rakshasa, Dvajagriva. Vidyutjayo, sorry, 1 second. Yes. Vidyujjihvasya ghorasya. Vidyujjihva is the next asura. Ghorasya, a very powerful asura. Tatha hastimukasya cha. Hastimuka is another asura. Karalasya pishachascha. Karala and Pishacha, who are the other asuras. Shonitakshasya chaivahi. Shonita is another asura. So all these asuras' houses which were lit on fire. Then following the order, Kumbhakarnasya Bhavanam, Ravana's own brother, Kumbhakarnasya Bhavanam, Makarakshasya Chaivahi, Makaraksha is another asura. Yajnashatroscha Bhavanam, Yajnashatru is another asura. And Brahmashatros Tathaivacha, Brahmashatru is another asura. Narantakasya Kumbhasya, Narantaka and Kumbha is another other asuras, and Nikumbhasya Duratmanaha, the evil Nikumbha. So all these asuras, Varjayitva Mahateja, Vibhishana Griham Prati, Kramamanaha Kramenaiva, Dadaha Haripungavaha. Hey Haripungava. Haripungava is Anjaneya, the other name. Haripungava, the devote of Hari. Tatha Chendre Jito. Next, who saw all these things? Jito. Chendre Jito. Veshma Dadaha Haripyutapaha. Again, the synonym of Anjaneya. Hariyutapaha. Jambumale Sumalescha Dadaha Bhavanam Tata. The Jambumalis and Sumalis houses. Rashmi Ketoscha Bhavanam Surya Shastros Tathevacha. Rashmi Ketu and Surya Shatru. Harswakarna Hashwakarnasya Damstrasya Romashasya cha Rakshasa. Hashwakarna and Romasha. Yuddhuttamasya Mattasya Yuddhon Mattasya Dvajagrivasya Rakshasaha. The Rakshasas who were so involved, engrossed in Yuddha, Yuddhon Mattasya, like Dvajagriva and Vidyujjihvasya Ghorasya, the evil mighty Vidyujjihva, and Hastimukasya cha, Hastimuka, Karala and Pishacha, Karalasya Pishachasya, Shonitakshasya chaivahi, Shonita also, Kumbhakarnasya Bhavanam, Kumbhakarna and his house, Makarakshasya chaivahi, Makaraksha's house, Yajnashatrascha Bhavanam, Brahmashatros tathaivacha, Yajnashastra and Shatru and Brahmashastra, the both asuras. Narantakasya Kumbhasya Nikumbhasya Duratmanaha, the evil-minded Narantaka and Kumbha and Nikumbha. And Varjayitva, doing all these things. Next, when he saw Varjayitva, he left back. He didn't put the fire on. By that is a selective discretion and the focused way of doing the quick decisions without losing the focus. Varjayitva, he left out without putting on fire. Mahateja, the Tejo, the Mahateja Anjaneya, what he left out? Vibhishana Griham Prati, Vibhishana's house, where he didn't let the noble Vibhishana among the whole lot of asuras. Kramamanaha, that way, by systematically, Kramamanaha Kramenaiva, in a systematic, calculated way, Dadaha Haripungavaha, he finished off to the flames all these Rakshasas' houses, the beautiful mansions of this evil-minded, mighty, ugly asuras. Now coming, Rama, now coming to the beautiful temple associated with all these slokas together put in, we have the Bala Hanuman Temple, Jamnagar. In Gujarat, Jamnagar district, we have the Bala Hanuman Temple, which was built in the year around 1963-64 by the great saint Sri Prema Bhikshukji Maharaj, and where this temple is very, very famous for one particular thing, that from the inception of this temple till date, every day and continuously, you cannot say every day also because it is continuous, from 1963-64 till day. It is still going on, and by Anjaneya's grace, it will still go on according to what I also see, which is the Akhanda Rama Japa. Akhanda Rama Japa is going. It's an Akhanda Rama Bhakta Hanuman temple. Bala Hanuman temple, Jamnagar, is a Akhanda Rama Bhakta Hanuman temple. Akhanda Rama Japamala is going on in this temple from the start and inception of this temple in 1963-64 by the great saint, none other than Sri Prema Bhikshu Maharaj Ji from Jamnagar, Gujarat, where we have Hanumanji along with Rama, Lakshmana, Sita, the masters. Along with them, he is there beautifully in this temple, blessing all of us. So let us go back to the beautiful slokas again. तथा चेन्द्रे जितो वेश्म ददाह हरियूथपः जम्बुमालेः सुमालेश्च ददाह भवनं ततः रश्मिकेतोश्च भवनं सूर्यशत्रोस्तथैव च हर्ष्वकर्णस्य दंष्ट्रस्य रोमशस्य च राक्षसः युद्धोन्मत्तस्य मत्तस्य ध्वजग्रीवस्य रक्षसः विद्युज्जिह्वस्य घोरस्य तथा हस्तिमुखस्य च करालश्च पिशाचश्च शोणिताक्षस्य चैव हि कुम्भकर्णस्य भवनं मकराक्षस्य चैव हि यज्ञशत्रोश्च भवनं ब्रह्मशत्रोस्तथैव च नरान्तकस्य कुम्भस्य निकुम्भस्य दुरात्मनः वर्जयित्वा महातेजा विभीषणगृहं प्रति क्रममाणः क्रमेणैव ददाह हरिपुङ्गवः. Rama 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 Rama. We go to the next sloka. The sloka 17th, again from the same chapter, the same sarga. Teshu teshu maharheshu bhavaneshu mahayashaha griheshva vruddhi matta murdhim dadahasa mahakapihi. Teshu teshu maharheshu bhavaneshu mahayashaha Griheshva Vruddhi Mata Mruddhim Dadaha Samahakapihi Teshu Teshu Maharheshu. That Hanuman of great fame, Maharheshu, Bhavaneshu, burned away, Bhavaneshu, the houses, Bhavaneshu, the mansions, Bhavaneshu Mahayashaha, along with the wealth of these mansions which were rich. Griheshta Vruddhi Mata Mruddhim Dadaha, all these mansions, which is full of prosperity, were burned down. Dadaha sa Mahakapihi, the Mahakapi, the Hanuman, who was very famous. So, Teshu Teshu Maharheshu Bhavaneshu Mahayashaha Griheshva Vruddhimata Mruddhim Dadaha sa Mahakapihi. Rama Rama Rama, we have the beautiful temple associated with this sloka. You can see here the Prayagraj Hanuman temple, the Prayagraj Hanuman temple, which was consecrated by the Saint Balgiri, who found this Hanuman idol in the Ganges, the holy Ganges, the Triveni Sangama in Prayag, as the name quotes the Prayagraj, the Bade Hanuman temple as it is known, because the idol is so big and big enough, which is immersed almost in the Ganges. And from where Balgiri, the saint, great Balgiri, the saint, brought it out and consecrated. And today we have this beautiful temple, the Bade Hanumanji temple, which is very old, years, 1,000 years, more than that old, and which is 500 meters north of the Prayagraj fort of today. And it is again a beautiful Shayanakola Hanuman, as we had described the other day, where we had 3 places of Shayanakola Hanuman. This is one of them. And this is the Shayanakola Lete Hanuman Mandir. In Hindi, as they say, Lete Hanuman Mandir. and it is in a underground place, a little below the ground. One side, which is one half of it is which is immersed always in the waters of the Ganges, but the Ganges, the holy Ganges, washing it, doing abhishekam to him. The other side is what we could see very clearly from outside, holding Gada in the right hand, and near the right foot we have Ahiravana, so indicating the Ahiravana Vada story, and in the left shoulder holding Rama, Lakshmana and Sita, and towards the left foot where we have the Kamada Devi, Ahiravana's family deity, who instructed Hanuman to finish off Ahiravana when he wanted to save Rama and Lakshmana and take them out of Patala and bring them to Lanka during the Yuddha Kanda. So we have the beautiful Bade Hanuman Mandir in Prayag in the Triveni Sangama, in the Ganges, half immersed in the Ganges and being bathed by the Ganges every day and blessing all of us with all the prosperity and making ourselves and becoming of ourselves into big superhumans. That is the Bade Hanuman Mandir, the mightiness of our mind, the mightiness of our productivity, the mightiness of our brain to bring out infinite possibilities to make it possible. That is what the Bade Hanuman Mandir gives us in Phala, that is the desires to be fulfilled. So let us have this Bade Hanuman temple in Prayagraj Fort, near Prayagraj Fort, to bless us with all the mightiness in us, the potentialities in us to be brought out and excel in our each one's field in a day-to-day basis and achieve the happiness and contentment of this beautiful gift of life given by Hanumanji to all of us. Rama, Rama, Rama. Let us have this sloka again. Teshu, Teshu, Maharheshu, Bhavaneshu, Mahayasha, Griheshva, Vruddhimata, Mruddhim, Dadaha, Samaha, Kapihi. Rama, 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 Rama. We go to the next sloka from the same Sarga 54, the 18th sloka, which completes the Lanka Dahanam portion, the major portion of Lanka Dahanam, the 18th sloka of the chapter Sarga 54 of Sundarakanda. Sarvesham Samitha Rakshasendrasya Viryavan. Sarvesham Samitha Rakshasendrasya Viryavan. Asasadhata Lakshmivan Ravanasya Niveshanam. Asasadhata Lakshmivan Ravanasya Niveshanam. Sarvesham Samitikramya Rakshasendrasya Vidyavan. Asasadhata Lakshmivan Ravanasya Niveshanam. Having passed over all these houses of the major Rakshasas where he set the fire, the mighty and glorious Hanuman thereafter approached the house of Ravana. Lakshmivan, Anjaneya, approached the house of Ravana, the king of the demons. So Lanka Dahana, after finishing Lanka Dahana, he reached out to the king of the demons to show his mind and also give the message of a messenger in the right way. So you can see, as I had mentioned in the beginning, the quick decision making, the focused way of doing things, the sustained way of the energies, but in an equilibrated way, and selective discretional abilities, which each one of us has to have and which Hanuman blesses us with. And that is why these deeds in Valmiki Ramayana has been displayed so beautifully and given to us by sage Valmiki, and later on by Tulsidas ji in his Ramacharita in the local vernacular language of Awadhi, in a beautiful way to imbibe and assimilate in a day-to-day basis. Rama, 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 we can have the sloka once again here, and the beautiful temple associated to this. Let us have the beautiful temple associated to this particular sloka, the Panchamukha Hanuman temple in Kumbakonam. It is a tall green granite idol here, which is around 40 feet in height, the Panchamukhi Anjaneya, established in the Raghavendra Mutt in Kumbakonam, the Panchamukha Hanuman Anjaneya temple. As I had mentioned in the beginning, Raghavendra Swami's Ishta Devata, the Anjaneya, the Panchamukhi Anjaneya, through whom he brought out all the Mula mantras of the Panchamukhi, the Garuda, the Varaha, the Narasimha, the Anjaneya, and the Hayagriva mantras, and the Mula mantras and the Panchamukha Hanumat Kavachas to the world for the benefit of the entire mankind. Where his guru Vyasaraya had already put in 735 Hanuman Pratishtas in the all over throughout India to give all the positivity in those days, and many of which are still live and there to visit and get the blessings from. And others have been still are being found out and reinstated again. So we have the Panchamukha Hanuman temple in Kumbakonam here. The Panchamukha, the first one being in Rameshwaram. Then we have a similar idol very near in Chennai for people to visit, which is in Rudravanam, as it is known, where a lot of great saints, including Parashurama, are supposed to have done penance in those old days. And where again a Panchamukhi Anjaneya around 36 feet, a green granite monolithic stone again idol has been installed there with lot of Kumbhabhishekam and all the prayers being done recently few years before in Tiruvallur towards the Tirutani route in Chennai for people to visit, which is easier from Chennai. So let us have the Panchamukhi Anjaneya's blessings to bless us all, to ward off all evil and reach all prosperity and achievements. Rama, Rama, Rama. So we have the sloka here again. The last sloka today. Sarvesham Samitikramya Rakshasendrasya Vidyavan Asasadhata Lakshmivan Ravanasya Niveshanam. Rama, 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 Rama. Let us have the bhajan today and complete this beautiful Lanka Dahanam session.
Rama Namami Tudimanami Rama Namami Tudimanami Chema Murave Nidiname Diname Sita Rama Namami Tudimanami Chema Murave Nidiname Sita Rama Namami Tudimanami Chema Murave Nidiname Sita Rama Namami Tudimanami Shema Muravi Nidiname Sita Rama Namami Tudimanami வாதனைகள் பல சோதனைகள் யாவுமே வாதனைகள் பல சோதனைகள் யாவுமே நாதனை நினைந்திடில் நாடுவோம் ரகு நாதனை நினைந்திடில் நாடுவோம் நாதனை நினைந்திடில் நாடுவோம் ரகு நாதனை நினைந்திடில் நாடுவோம் சீதாராம நாமமே துதிமனமே க்ஷேமமுறவே நீதினமே சீதாராம நாமமே துதிமனமே பூமியை பொன் பூவையரையும் தேடி பூமியை பொன்னை பூவையரையும் தேடி பூஜித்த பிற பொன்னாகவலே நீ பூஜித்த பிற பொன்னாகவலே சீதா ராம நாமமே துதி மரவே க்ஷேம முரவே நீ தினமே சீதா ராம நாமமே துதி மரவே राम लक्ष्मण जानकी जय बोलो हनुमान की 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 जय बोलो हनुमान की जय बोलो हनुमान की जय बोलो हनुमान की
That
Rama,
concludes
Rama,
the
Rama.
bhajan song, and what a wonderful rendition by Radhika Rajesh.
Beautiful rendition
everyone.
by Radhika Rajesh. Beautiful song. And also a beautiful explanation by Sivakumarji.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Let us take the journey tomorrow forward ahead in another beautiful deed of Anjaneya, and see you all tomorrow again. Namaskaram.
Namaskar.
Thank you to all who joined today. We will send the recording shortly. Thank you. Thank you, Sukumar sir.
Thank you, Srinamji. Thank you.